Yo, why you smiling?
Why y'all smiling? I'm out.
Because I did a.
What's up? I'm happy to be here.
Yo, first
We
of all,
started, my brother. We on.
yo,
That's what I like to hear.
We don't give people heads up. Nosotros empezamos y arrancamos.
Yeah, sí. Yo,
Ya se
una
pensó.
vaina arriba, ratata, chévere y aquí chilling.
Can we get a?
Real quick. Can I get a yeah? Let's get it. You're the vibes. We here, bro.
Yo,
but how you feel? You got somebody from Brooklyn next to you, man.
All I want to say
Here
to
we
all my
go.
BK peeps, stop.
Stop what?
Much love. I appreciate
Stop
you. We're
what?
inclusive to all. We love all human
Oh,
beings.
Nah, that's a
okay.
fact.
I was
Boroughs.
ready. I'm like, what's going on
The Bronx
here?
is the borough of love and community, and
Okay.
we appreciate you.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
glad.
damas y caballeros, tenemos a Maurys
Amaurys.
from Bronx native.
Hey, that's it.
Hey, bachateame.
Bienvenido, mi hermano.
Quiero promover mi nuevo álbum de bachata.
Beautiful.
Yo,
¿Cómo
that's
se
a
llama?
perfect name too,
Se
Amaurys.
llama Amaurys del Bronx.
Del Bronx.
Ya tú sabes.
Bachata sensual. And he got the grills on today. You know what I mean? Oh,
Oh,
man.
snap.
Man, una vaina
It's the
bien.
drip. It's the light drip for tonight.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
That's what I'm talking about. El Bronx en la casa.
Bronx
What's
native.
good? Amaurys,
get it.
talk to us,
Talk
my
to me,
brother.
buddy.
Vamos a empezar hablando un poquito about who Amaurys is, man. Come on, you chilling with us today. We want to learn about you, my
fact.
brother.
First of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me, my man. Much love, much love, much love, much
Nah.
love.
Thanks for coming, man.
This is dope. You guys got a vibe out here, and I'm glad to be part of the vibe.
Oh,
Thank
Chico,
you so
sorry,
much.
remind them. Aqui Chillin is what?
Es un vibe.
Oh,
Es una vibra.
Es una vibra.
No, so my name is Amaurys Grullon. Like you guys know already, I'm an entrepreneur, creative, based in the South Bronx, Boogie Down Bronx.
Yes, sir.
I have a brand called Bronx Native. We are a brand that embodies what the Bronx truly is. We highlight our home through art, media, apparel, events, and more. We have 2 shops currently in the South Bronx where we utilize it as a cultural hub. We giving back to the community. We're putting the Bronx on the map, and we doing it in a lit way.
That's what it's all about, man. You bringing that Bronx
That's a
vibe
fact.
into it.
That's a
Vibes,
fact.
man. We out here. We working, bro.
Una vaina bien.
The Bronx is the best place ever.
Yes, indeed.
Fuck it.
Respect
I
to
think
Brooklyn.
it's the Bronx is the most beautiful place on earth, man.
That's
I'll
a
say it
fact.
Right
I
here.
agree.
Facts 100.
It's
Yes.
the most
Keep it a
what?
stack. It's the most beautiful place
Oh,
on
the
earth.
most beautiful
Yes,
place.
because we're beautiful and we're in the Bronx. So
That's sick.
Yeah, Maurys, did
Sick.
were you born in the Bronx? You grew up in the Bronx?
born and raised in the South Bronx.
BX.
But yes, pero mi familia es 100% de la República
Uh-oh.
Dominicana.
Uepa.
Sí, mi familia de Moca, they
Oh,
came here.
that's where
Nice.
I'm from. I'm from.
Oh, ya son
Moca.
primos, son primos.
Yo,
Yeah.
I met my cousin,
Yeah.
mi prima. Yo, Mocano was good. I saw it, light skin, black hair. You already know the vibe.
That's it.
Ariel is Amaurys' cousin.
That's
Ya
it,
lo
that's
sabe.
it.
I was born there, though.
Okay, that's all good. That's all
Nice,
good.
so good.
She
But
came
yeah.
in last year.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
She's
I
actually-
learned the language pretty quick.
That was quick. 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's actually still looking for papers, Amaurys, so if you're single,
I mean,
No, hey, espérate, los primos no se priman,
Pero
¿eh?
ya mi prima, ya mi prima. You want us to have some scary looking babies?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Él es
She's-
problemático.
Es relajado.
Tú ves, él es santico, pero se le pica a
es
veces. el
relajado,
problema.
es relajado.
But that's what it's all about. Yeah, born and raised in
That's
the
beautiful,
Bronx.
man. That's
Yes,
beautiful.
yes, yes,
So,
indeed.
por eso que se ve que the Bronx has had a lot of influence in what you're doing right now, man.
course,
Because you're
yeah.
You have a
repping it
lot
to
of
the
love
fullest.
for the Bronx.
Definitely. So for me, it was just I felt like we were underrated for too long.
Too long.
That's
I
a fact.
felt, the Bronx, when we talk about the Bronx, we're talking about hip hop,
Yep.
birthplace of hip hop,
Yep.
birthplace of
Yeah.
salsa. We're talking about rich history. We're talking about people that strive, that work hard during the 80s and 70s. You know the
Yep.
vibes. Our buildings were burning. Our people were
Yep.
struggling. But from nothing, we created so much, bro. So me growing up here and hearing all the negativity, hearing all the perspectives that people have about
The misconceptions.
the misconceptions,
Yeah.
and the Bronx, like I said, what makes a borough is the people, right?
Absolutely.
So when they're talking about the Bronx, they're talking about me. They're talking about us. They're
Yeah.
talking about our people of color, people that have been, tossed to the side, not given the resources, right? Disenfranchised communities, and all of these things come into play. So I was like, what can I do to change the narrative? What can I do to change the stigma? And we are doing it through Bronx Native.
That's beautiful.
So, yes.
And now to understand the brand, I think it's important that we understand your coming of age in the Bronx. Like, how was your experience growing up? Like, with your parents, were you listening to bachata? Were you listening to Were you listening to hip hop? What hip hop music? What artists were you listening to as you came up?
Yeah. How has the Bronx influenced you?
I had an amazing time in the Bronx growing up. Right. I think we're living in an amazing time to be alive. I tell everyone, what a time to be alive, right?
Word.
There is there's an awakening. There's a Bronx Renaissance happening.
Oh shit!
The vibes.
Oh man!
Right?
There's a lot.
Yeah, I think the Holy Ghost just touched them out and just said,
I went, what?
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Real quick, come on, espérate, hay agua.
We live in a time where there's a lot of creativity going on in the Bronx.
That is a fact, my man. And I'm glad to be, in that movement and part of that of everything that
you're in the center of it, man.
Yeah, influencing
I appreciate
it.
that.
Yeah, you're in the center. I've seen it. You're in the center.
I appreciate that, bro. So yeah, man, that's what it's all about. It's about our people in the end of the day. But you asked me growing up in the BX.
Yeah.
So it was super dope. My family, Pentecostal, you know the vibes, bro.
Oh my God,
De la
my
cabeza no
family
pie.
too. Amaurys, ¿qué es lo que está pasando? We cousins for real?
Damn.
What's your
What's
mom's stuff and
going
your dad's
on,
thing,
man?
bro?
You was in a Pentecostal church for real?
Dime tu apellido.
Díaz.
No, vamos a hablar de ti ahora.
Santana and Diaz.
Okay, no, I don't know.
No, okay. We're not cousins then.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
Apologize.
So there was some religion.
No,
that
definitely.
you grew up.
So and I'm happy because that created my foundation. That gave me my values.
Beautiful.
And I couldn't ask for a better upbringing in the Bronx. But I was always creative also, right? Since an early age, I was drawing. I was involved in all the art clubs in school, highly involved and stuff. And I always knew I wanted to pursue a creative career. That's why I went to school for graphic design.
Which school?
I went to Cardinal Hayes High School in the BX up
Cardinal
Hayes.
Hayes,
Well, man, you know the vibes.
Yeah.
Then I went to BCC, Bronx Community College, got my associate's degree there.
Nice.
And then I went to the School of Visual Arts to get my bachelor's degree. And then I said to myself, excuse me, I got a burp.
It's all right. Go for it. We chilling.
Do it on the mic. Fuck it.
Gracias,
It's a familia.
Literally family. And I said, how can I use my creativity and my talent to have an impact and to really put my people on the map and to put the Bronx, showcase the Bronx how it should be showcased, right? So that, that triggered everything. That's and we're doing it up. Yes,
I love that movement.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man. And I had to read it, man. The New York Times article that you were featured in.
Yes.
That was awesome.
I believe your sister was on it, too as well.
Yes.
And there's a quote that you said in there, and I wrote it so I won't forget. Just to make sure. It said,
I'm quotable.
Yeah, it's quotable.
Go ahead, bud.
You said, we felt that people weren't really seeing the Bronx for what it was.
Facts.
Yo, so that's why, and you kind of touched that. You touched on that already. And my question for you was, what did you want, or what do you want people to see the Bronx as? Yeah. What is it that you want to make sure that people recognize the Bronx for?
The beauty that is here, right? I mean, there's a bunch of things, right? Yeah. But it's just the beauty of our people, my man. And when I say our people, like I said before, people of color, people that have been tossed to the side, right? Disenfranchised communities. I don't know if you guys know, but they literally built highways for people not to go to the Bronx during the 70s.
They displaced a lot of people.
They displaced all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful. It's like the rose that comes out of the concrete, right? It's like the phoenix that comes out of the ashes, right? That is what our people represent, right? Hardworking, ambitious people that survive, people that come into immigrants, right? People that come, you know that quote, America, immigrants make is what basically creates America and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And we are we're
America's built on immigrants, pretty much.
That's a fact. So it's just all of that, and
energy.
Just putting it out there and showing people we're really about, not knowing us for the negativity that we're known for the most part, right? Like I said, I went to SVA, the School of Visual Arts, which is downtown, and I used to go up there, and I was like, What's good? I'm from the boogie down Bronx, boy. What's can I get a year? They're like, what are you saying, buddy?
Hey, what are you talking about?
buddy? They were looking at me crazy. They'll ask me questions like, yo, why are you from the Bronx? You don't look like you're from the Bronx. Teachers, like,
it's dangerous.
Come at me. It's dangerous. Have you ever been shot? Are you okay?
Can I see a stab wound?
And I was like, and I was just you know, and when you really think about that, you know, growing up with that stigma and those negative thoughts, that could really do something like mentally
to your psyche. Yeah,
like, that's like you're like, damn, like all these people are saying these bad things about my home, my borough.
I'm the outcast.
So that means I'm ugly. That means
I'm a monster.
I'm a monster. Like, what am I? So I'm like, bro, we can't continue living like this. We have to really show people and put it out there. And we're doing it through social. We're doing it through media. We're doing it through speaking engagements, going to the schools, you know, telling our kids that their environment does not depict their future. They can be whoever they want to be. They can do whatever they want to do, and they can do it in the Bronx. Keep it in the Bronx and make it happen. Quote that.
You know what? Exactly. You know what fucks with you? And excuse my French.
It's fine.
Oui. It's because you embrace it, my brother, and I love that. Bronx native. How did the name come up?
So, when we were starting, it was me and my sister who started it. My sister's a fashion designer. She's at Parsons, the new school at the moment. I think one day we posted a photo, and the caption was Bronx native, right? So we were like, we just used it like, yo, Bronx native, because we Bronx native, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, we thought about Bronx native, like, yo, we're going to create merchandise that empowers our people, identifies us, you know, connects the culture, the history, and all that stuff. And then we're like, what are we going to name it, right? We didn't want to name it something generic, like, oh, Bronx clothing or whatever, right? So we're like, yo, Bronx native, like, Bronx native is lit. Like, it's dope, nice, it's chill, it's light.
It flows.
Like, yo, Bronx native. And also, we didn't want to only be perceived as a clothing brand, right? We wanted to be a community-based brand, which we are. We wanted to tackle issues that we go through in the day-to-day through Bronx Native, right? Not only creating merchandise, but a call to action brand, a brand with a mission and a brand with a cause, right? So we're like Bronx Native. You can't, like, if I tell you you're Bronx Native, you wouldn't think, oh, it's only clothing. You were like, you're Bronx Native. What is that? You know? So, and then another thing that is highly important is that it was not taken. Right?
Ooh,
that's crazy.
That's a fact.
So when
right?
you search,
so I searched Bronx Native. The domain was good. No one has used it as an LLC, whatever. You know, all that business talk, and everything was available, trademark, blah blah blah. We did everything, and we got everything. So Bronx Native
and made it official.
Yes,
that's beautiful. And you guys, what? I read somewhere that you guys started out at your apartment, right?
You have everybody.
Just like any, you know.
But isn't that a great thing? Because that's the beautiful thing about being alive nowadays. A lot of things could be started straight from your apartment.
And that's one of the reasons I tell when we go to the schools, when we talk to these kids and stuff, we're living in the best time to be alive, right? We have so many resources that we can use. You can literally be on your computer all day and make money, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
definitely.
Even game like video games, like, you know, growing up, we're like, oh, we can't make money. You know,
your parents
video game, and now these kids is like millionaires, like on YouTube,
what is that, Twitch
doing it
and all that?
Twitch making money, like, yo, get on live, you make people just send you money, like, what the crazy. You know, it's crazy when you think about it. But it's facts, right? So, we started from our apartment, right? It all started as a conversation. I was talking to my sister. I said, look, we need to find merch. I want to wear a shirt that says the Bronx, right? That looks lit. And we could not find it, right? So that's one of my entrepreneurial, mind came through. I said, look, this is a market that has not really been tapped into. So we're going to, you know, we've seen all the Brooklyn merch, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's
right.
true.
You already know we lit.
That is true.
Yeah, you saw that little plug, like you're.
I'm sorry.
You
know, y'all talked a lot about the Bronx. I had to plug us in real quick. Let's not forget about my peoples either. We're beautiful.
Cute.
That's cute.
But the Bronx.
Let's continue on, though. I'm going to let y'all shine for tonight.
I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Muchas gracias, prima.
It's well needed, and you know.
So
my bad.
So apartment,
and you were talking about
the market, right? So
the market.
So you've seen the Brooklyn merch, Harlem, New York, but no one was really creating Bronx-based merchandise that really incorporated the history, the culture, and something that was visually appealing, right? You guys have some dope hoodies, dope hats, right? Shout out to
Aqui Chillin.
Hey,
shout out to Embroidery Kings too.
Shout out to Embroidery Kings. Have you heard of Embroidery Kings?
Of course, my man. I've been following
tonight.
for a long time. I've been following for a long time.
That's what's up.
Amazing stuff. But yeah, so it was like, look, no one is really doing this. I want to wear something. I want to wear a hat. I want to wear a hat. I don't find it. So let's do it. You know what I mean? So we did it. And then we saw that people were gravitating and really positive feedback from everyone, and people were ordering. Oh, I want this, and then it just grew and grew very organically and very, that's the best. In the house, from 12 shirts to 24 to like we had a little shelf in the house, and then to having our first shop in the South Bronx. Now we currently have a second shop for the Bronx Native Market.
Beautiful.
To all the events and all the opportunities that we've had because of Bronx Native and all the places that have our merch and everything that has come about.
I love seeing those events. Can you tell us a little about that?
Nice.
Yes.
He's like, yes.
Yes.
Am I invited?
Of course. I told you we're inclusive.
We're inclusive? What's good? So Brooklyn could go? Is that right? We safe out there?
But don't rock Brooklyn yet, though.
Queens and Brooklyn, Manhattan, all that, Washington Heights, So the event, for us, it was very important to create experiences, right? Because I feel like that's something that people like, right?
Of
people
course.
Like going into feeling something new, something authentic, something dope, something lit, something Instagrammable, right? So
I like that.
I like
something
that.
memorable.
That's a fact.
Something,
So we were like, how do we create dope ass events with Bronx culture and involve our community in it, right? So we started one of the early on events we did a pop-up at a chicken spot. It was
That's fire.
That is so dope.
That's
the
fire.
chicken spot pop-up.
Can I get a 3-piece?
You know the vibe? You got 3 pieces on a t-shirt,
And beef patty with cocoa bread.
Yes. So, and we just continue like, how can we keep pushing the limit and do things in the Bronx that are not being done in the Bronx, right? Because everyone's like, oh, yeah, Harlem got lit up stuff. Even like the Heights, everything's in Brooklyn, of course, right? It's like, I'm going to Brooklyn to have this thing, whatever. So it's like, why do everyone got to go out to experience these things? Why can't we bring it to the Bronx? And we have all this talent, right? So we started working with up-and-coming artists, with spoken word artists, rappers, R&B singers, painters, from any mediums, and just working with them to create these events, create these experiences, and just create a vibe in the Bronx, man, and give a platform to these artists and these people that are coming up, and work together and collaborate and create beautiful
That's what
things.
it's all about.
Nice.
In the area that you're located, like the Port Morris area, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there. Like I've been there, and there's a lot of them. Now, my question to you is, being that it's changing a lot, because a lot of development is also happening out there. How do you feel?
Facts.
How do you feel about gentrification in the area?
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Let's talk about that.
These niggas. I just like
Talk your shit. Fuck it.
No. We yes, there is, and you talked about the area, Mott Haven, Port Morris, right? There's a lot of changes, a lot of new developments. There's a lot of businesses, and there is, of course, with that comes new people with gentrification and all that stuff, right? One of the things that I do like about the area is that most of the business owners, almost all of them, are of color.
Beautiful.
Are people from the Bronx that are stepping up, right? Owning their own businesses, owning their own property. And that's what we should be doing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We should have been doing that from the jump, right? Which we, have, especially my Dominicans, bro. A big shout out to my Dominicans that come straight from DR and come to hustle and work, bro. Because I'm gonna be honest,
people.
That's a fact. Like me doing this whole Bronx Native, the emergence of just Dominican young people and and any type, like, Dominicans are working hard in all fields, my man. You know what I mean? And
not only baseball. Not only baseball.
Ni en la bebida.
Not only aventura.
You already know. In all
Yo, funny story. I actually was a part of Aventura. I was supposed to be the dancer, but Henry took my spot.
Stop lying.
Nah.
Like Chico.
I created the name and shit, and then I get credit, but it's cool.
This is fine. It's a good ass story. But yeah, things are changing, right?
They are.
And you know, I am not a person who sits down and just talks about it. Oh my gosh, or complains. Oh my God, this is happening. Oh my gosh, blah 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 blah. I take actions.
You're
right?
an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur. I work, my man. You know, and I lucha, and I love it, bro. I love the struggle. I love working hard, and I just love the journey because I think the journey is a reward. That's what it's all about, bro.
Yep.
So for me, it's like I look at these issues or these things that are happening, and I say, how can we change the outcome, right? We've seen what's happening in Brooklyn, right? My bad, we just keep talking about like Brooklyn.
Is that we dope? You don't gotta say
no. I'm saying this is in a negative way. I'm talking about gentrification in Brooklyn, right?
He's talking about what happened to Williamsburg.
I'm talking about Williamsburg.
No, but you don't have to apologize. It's just we beautiful people want to come to Brooklyn.
You guys are.
But I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
I'm done with this.
I'm agreeing with you.
Thank you.
I'm saying we dope.
Because
plug us in.
Okay. So you know, we've seen what happened, you know, in these other boroughs. And,
Hey, ¿qué pasó ahora? ¿Qué está pasando? I thought it was inclusive.
No. Yeah,
what happened to the inclusion?
I included all the
boroughs.
Gotcha. My bad. You're right.
And, you know, and even like uptown Harlem and what's happening in Washington Heights and everything.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a real issue. Because with gentrification comes displacement, right?
Yep.
And the way I see it is that we've been here for so many years, blood, sweat, and tears. We created so many things for now these buildings to come up, and like, oh, you can't live here anymore. You can't pay. Sorry, bud. Have a good night. You know.
Yep.
And it's just like that's just sad, right?
Yeah,
it's the elimination of our people, elimination of culture, elimination of so much beauty and flavor that we all have, right?
Yep.
So I look at that and I say, how can I change that, right? How can the Bronx be different than these other places? Because I do think that the Bronx is the last frontier, is the last place that really hasn't been touched in gentrification and all that stuff,
with that. That's
right?
True, yeah.
So for me, it's just Bronx Native is also an answer to that, right? It's like, look, yes, we're from the Bronx. Yes, we are here in this neighborhood that this is happening, and we're going to continue to be as Bronx as possible because that's who we are, and no one's going to take us away from here.
Yo, and I agree with him 100%. You know why? Because you know how dope it would be, for example, in the area your shop is located, right? Bronx native. And then everyone that moves in, you know, it could be black, white, Hispanic. But, por ejemplo, Hispano, young millennials, professionals that are able to afford these places.
That's a fact.
Move into the area. You know, and keep the flow going, keep the culture going, keep that bachata playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know how cool that would be.
Keep the girls going.
No, that's what we're doing. That's not how it will be. That's what's gonna happen, and we're gonna be sure that happens, my man, because that's what it has to happen. We cannot let that happen, especially from my home, especially the South Bronx.
Yeah, South Bronx.
I'm really from the South Bronx, and I just cannot let that happen. So we are, and also just thinking about things in different perspectives, right? And finding real answers and having conversations with other people, because it gets a little rowdy. It's like, oh my God, this is happening. And then it's just like, okay, like what's next?
What are we gonna do now?
What are we actually gonna do, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like
work.
figuring that out, having conversations, finding that balance, finding that fine line, and having a seat at the table too.
That's
that's
very
extremely important, right? Because I'm gonna keep it a buck. These people got the resources, they got the money, they got everything, bro.
And they're the ones making the decisions as to where they're gonna deploy the money to.
That's a fact.
What communities they're gonna send the money to.
That's a fact.
So having a seat at the table is very important.
Yeah, and I make it part of my mission and part of my story to have that seat at the table and be part of, like, okay, this is the community meeting. This is the meeting with this politician. This is the meeting. Oh, we're speaking. I'm going over there. What's good? What are you guys talking about?
I want to know.
What's up, Bronx native? What are y'all doing for my peeps? You know what I mean? So,
can I get a year?
Can I get a year?
I can't.
Imagine you had a meeting at a fucking Bronx Chambers meeting.
That.
Can I get a year?
Yo. Oh, no. I got a witness here behind.
I love it.
No. Bro, I go to these things.
I've seen.
And I be like, yo, can I get it? They be mad. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
old guys, like, yeah, bro.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I come how I am, you know, and I think that's just people value the truth and authenticness, you know, and being real, bro, and making it happen. So I go in there, can I get a year? What's good, blah, 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 and they love it. They be like, oh shit, you know. So yeah.
Yo, let's talk about that hustle episode on Viceland, if you don't mind.
Let's chat.
How did that even come about? Did you reached out to them or
no?
Or they reached out to you?
And
what did you take away from it? Like, what was the biggest lesson?
Yes. So, because it's a long story, but I'm gonna chop it up. They reached out to us, right? They had like a casting thing. Somebody like hit me up randomly. Like it wasn't even the Bronx Native email. It was like my personal email. Yeah. Like, hey, we're doing a show. Like, you want to be a part of it? And I was like, sure, you know what I mean? I didn't even know it was for Hustle or Viceland or what. They didn't say anything. It was like, yo, we're doing a show about entrepreneurs. And like, that's it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And then the first thing was like a little casting call. Excuse me. So we had like a Skype casting, like, oh, so who are you? Like this white lady, like, oh, so tell me about the Bronx. And I'm just like mad animated, like, yo, what's good? Like, the Bronx is lit. And she's like, oh my gosh, this is literally the best Skype interview I ever had. I was like, yo, you're into the boss. Amaurys, put me in there, you know, because that's what they heard. Amaurys Grullon. So like, Amaurys Grullon. I'm like, Amaurys Grullon. Okay.
Say right.
So yes, indeed.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah. So and then it was like process, and then we got other emails and stuff like that. And then finally, I got on the phone like, yo, can you actually like tell me what this is about? Like, yo, this is a Viceland show with this young dude. His name is John Henry, also Dominican, who is made it happen, a beast entrepreneur, Harlem, all that stuff, and it's about taking young businesses and taking them to the next level. And I was like, yo, that's what I do, you know what I mean? And they were like, oh, and it's also like to showcase what really happens, like behind doors, and like what no one sees, right? Everyone sees the flash and the IG and everything, but no one sees like the real grind, and the real hustle and all that stuff. So we did it. We were shooting for 3 months, the last 3 months of 2018. Yeah. Wow. So it was like, you guys, from what you guys saw, that was like if this is the whole thing we shot, like this is what you guys saw, right? Because we shot so much stuff. But it was an amazing experience, right? To be part of that. I got an inside look of how TV actually works. You know, a lot of it is there's realness to it, but a lot of it is also like skit, like curated. Like they be like, "Yo, do this." Like, you fight with your sister. Like, drama. You know what I mean? And they push a little bit the stake. You know, it was like, "Oh shoot, we're about to lose the shop," blah, blah, blah. You know, which we were in a situation, and we're always as entrepreneurs, as people that fight and do this all the time. They know the hustle and the grind. You
have your peaks and your lows.
That's a fact. Yeah. So we went in there. We did the show. And John Henry, he's experienced. He helped out. He told us a lot of great things. And then we had the show. The show aired in March, and it was incredible, my man. Awesome. We've had, to be able to showcase the Bronx in like Europe and Asia. And all these places like, Texas and stuff, and like people calling us like, yo, we just saw you on Viceland. We're from Germany and you guys are lit. And I'm like, shit, what's up? And to be one of the best things about that experience was that we were put in this platform that it was international, right? So like we got people from all over the world still seeing the show now, right? Because it's like streaming, so they can see it whenever they can. And then we're getting all that love, my man. That's all beautiful. People coming to the shop from France, from Italy, calling us, emailing us, buying online, right? So it just put us in a different level, in a higher level, brand awareness wise, and just Bronx in general, man. Because, that's awesome. Because these people, even if we have these ideas of the Bronx, imagine people in Europe and in these other countries like, oh my god, scary, whatever. But then they see the show and they're like, like they see it like, yo, this is a vibe. Like they the Bronx looking a vibe. Like, yeah, I'm going over there, bud. So Yeah, so it was incredible, awesome. My man, and it's still we're still seeing the fruits from that episode and everything that happened with that. Yeah.
And that's a good point because a lot of people outside the States, all they see is the movies and probably what they read in Google or something like that.
Facts,
so for you guys,
the Joker,
the Joker, the steps,
the Joker step, like the Joker step.
You guys,
everybody's taking pictures there now.
Of course, man. We had to. It was a whole thing, and we're like, yo, let's go over there. Let's get our merch in there. Let's get a bunch of peeps and just kind of reclaiming it.
How you felt about all the tourists all of a sudden just going into the stairs and taking pictures? Do you think that was a good thing, or they were kind of exploiting what just happened?
When stuff like that happens, I think it's a double-edged sword, right? Because there is they're exploiting it. Like, oh shoot, we're going to the stairs. Never been to the Bronx, but this is cool because it was in a movie. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of good too because it like I said, it's still putting the Bronx on a different platform and changing the narrative in a way because it's not like, oh, 3 people got shot in Highbridge.
I think
it's not that. It's like, oh snap, these stairs were in the Joker, and now it's lit. You know?
At the end of the day, people need to understand it's safer to go to the Bronx than to go to a Popeyes for the chicken sandwich.
That's true.
That's a fact. That's people die.
It's safer.
That shit is crazy.
For that chicken sandwich.
No, I've been seeing all the stories like somebody got jumped. And I was like, oh, no.
Someone got
Ya me tienen alto con esa vaina,
the Bronx,
bro.
you know what it is? A lot of people just don't. You have to come to the Bronx to really see it for yourself. It's not what people say. It's dope, man. The diversity is so.
Can I confess? Can I confess? Just because I like being real, I like being transparent. For me, I went to the Bronx twice, and brother, the men in the Bronx were very aggressive. Men in the Bronx.
They saw you walking, they were like, "Did I get a
maybe I was by myself." Maybe, but that's not an excuse. So a woman should be comfortable walking by herself. Anywhere. At any time. But I remember walking, I was going, to meet up with my girls, was going to go to some lounge.
But that's not a Bronx thing, though.
And the guys go and just grab. Like, they trying to talk to me. I keep walking. Yo. I'm like,
damn.
How you going to pull me? That's one. Then the second time I was at a party. Right?
Do you remember
a house party in the Bronx. And I go to the restroom. When I'm going to the restroom, the Bronx guys, again, they very aggressive out there. How you going to try to step to the inside the restroom when I'm going into the restroom? And I remember...
Give me his name after this.
He said, give me his name.
Actually, those guys may not be locals from the Bronx.
That's what it is.
Visiting.
That's what it
so?
is. Of course, it was a party.
Y'all don't do that?
It was a party.
Y'all don't do that?
That's against Bronx code.
After that, those two experiences,
ask the cat in the bathroom.
The cat in the bathroom?
Yeah.
What cat?
There's always a cat in the bathroom.
Hey, yo, is he from the Bronx?
I wish there was a cat in that bathroom, bro. I was scared, okay? I remember my feet. I put my foot on the door to hold the door. And I'm like, yo, let me get my phone. Let me get my phone. And I had I just had my foot on the door. Like,
that's
yo, what the hell's going on here?
Now that we're in the topic of cats, I just
before you get to that topic, as an ambassador of the Bronx and as a collective, I would like to apologize for those awful experiences you've had.
We don't claim them.
Y'all don't do that? That's not a Bronx guy thing?
Nah, that sounds like the Heights right there.
Low key. I don't wanna.
Dominicans from the Bronx and Dominicans from the Heights.
So we're gonna talk about cats.
Let them know.
Go.
Yes. Listen, there's 3 types of cats. I just want to say this.
3.
Shout out to Bobo Cook's cats. But there's 3 types of cats. There's a house cat, there's a bathroom cat, and there's a bodega cat.
There's a bodega cat. That's a fact.
My favorite one are the bodega cats.
I love them.
I want to say
They're cute.
They're cute.
They lay in the bread.
Yo, they ain't scared of shit.
No, they're not.
Nah. I don't like cats. I don't like cats because they always go around your food. I don't like animals around my food.
That's true. But you know what? You know what I like the best about the Bronx Native store?
Yes.
The vintage bodega.
Yes.
Do you guys have a cat in the store?
No.
I was gonna say there's a 4.
That's all you're missing. You're missing a cat.
I was
need a
thinking
cat.
about that. Like, damn, should we get a cat?
What would you name the cat?
Grand Concourse.
Gran Concourse.
Gran Concourse.
Gran Concourse.
Ven acá.
Or Fordham. You can call him Fordham.
Fordham. No, so it's just a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of things happening in that shop. That cat will probably die.
They take care of themselves.
They do. Was the inspiration the bodega?
Yes.
Right?
So it was. So like I said in
that.
the beginning, our thing is about experiences. So when we first got the shop, a little story about it. It was only supposed to be a pop-up shop. We were only supposed to be there for 2 weeks when we started, right?
Wow.
And then we were like, yo, we got to do the most out here, bro. We got to make it happen. We got to blow it up.
Grind.
And we decided to create, first of all, an interactive experience. So anyone that comes in the shop can actually tag up the walls. So all the walls are tagged up with graffiti. Anyone that comes in can tag it up. The front has like bodega props, right? Like a Café Bustelo, the Porter Waters, like everything in the front. The sign is like it looks like a bodega sign, like old school bodega, and it says like a Peru culture, community art, and stuff like that. So it was just like creating a vibe, and like I said, I don't call it a clothing store, I call it a cultural hub because we have everything from community events to open mics every 2 weeks. To having politicians work, right? At the shop, one of the first places that Alessandro Ocasio, AOC from the Big Young Bronx during the vibes, one of the first places she campaigned was in our shop, right? We've had a bunch of people come by, Fat Joe, athletes, just the list goes on, and we've been able to create this really iconic hub in the Bronx that represents us and represents art and culture and what's happening currly in the BX, so
and now that we're on that topic, like where's Bronx Native in the next 5 years? Like what do you see Bronx Native being?
I'm gonna say it here. I am running for president of the Bronx.
Hey! Can I get a yeah?
That's my first. No. So I mean, 5 years from now, we really want to be that essential brand. Like when people think about the Bronx, I want them to think about Bronx Native, right?
Right.
We are. I'm creating an ecosystem, right? So it's not only we have the clothing, but we have other branches, right? We have something called Bronx Native Records that deals with the music scene in the Bronx. We have BX Writers that deals with the literary scene.
Wow, beautiful.
We have Bronx Native Print, where we actually print other people's stuff. We have the Bronx Native Market, which just hit 6 months right now in Hunts Point, is a marketplace for Bronx creatives and entrepreneurs. We have about 20 vendors in there selling their merchandise. And we have the events, and
How often does the market happen?
It's open every day. It's another store. It's a second store.
So that's the second
store, the Bronx Native Market. The first one is Bronx Native Shop. The second one is Bronx Native Market. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So we have the social justice and the education part of it, right? We go to schools, talk to the kids about entrepreneurship, about creativity, about, the Bronx and like I said before, telling them that, giving them the motivation and cultivating our youth, man. These kids are elite, man, and they just need to do it up.
And people are gonna be listening to this interview, and they're gonna want to know how you did this, like, because you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
Have you had mentors in your life?
Or
has this been like organic grind?
No, definitely. Even from the start, I didn't know how to. Me selling a product was new for me. It's like, yo, I don't have a brand, right? But we all have that friend who has a brand, right? It's like, oh yeah, he has a brand. So I literally called my friend. I was like, yo, bro, I know you got a brand. Tell me exactly what you did, bro. Yeah. So he was like, yo, number 1, go to Amazon, buy these stickers. Number 2, and it was just me asking questions, right? It was me doing these things. It was me also getting to know the business side of things too, right? Because it did become a business. So it's me, talking to accountants, talking to bookkeepers, talking to people that know their stuff and getting equipped with finding people that are compatible with you and complement you, right? I'm the creative, I'm doing this. Now I need this, right? That I don't have. So connecting with people, collaborating, and mentors, I still have people that I talk to all the time and they help me out with whatever I need. And it's all about the journey, bro. It is every day I'm learning something new. Every day is another step, and every day I'm just working harder and harder, bro.
That's beautiful, man. That's what it's all about. And for the youth, man, like, what message do you have? Because I know you're in front of a lot of young people. You probably go back to high schools and tell them and talk to them.
Yes.
Like, what's your main message that you're telling them besides the year? Like,
I want to tell you guys about the power of the year. Okay,
and how can they participate also for the talented artists that are listening now and talents that want to also be part of the Bronx Native? How can they participate?
The schools. I'm gonna target that first. So the schools. We have something that is very cool, right? The kids, it's not like I'm a banker or a lawyer coming in there for a career. They're like, okay, guys, we're going to learn about numbers. I'm over here like, yo, what's good? I got a brand. We doing music stuff. We doing. They're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So it's something attractive. So they already have our attention. And then for me, it's just teaching them. Me growing up in the Bronx and stuff like that. No one told me, hey, you could be your own boss. You could be an entrepreneur. You could have an idea and bring that idea to life
and make money
and make some motherfucking shmoney. The vibes, bro. That paper, that bread, right? And then I was like, bro, I gotta tell these kids that they could do this, right?
It's real,
And I'm a testament of that. I'm doing this, and also doing something that you love, right? I mean, that's the first. I have a whole presentation. I'm like, yo, find what you love, find what you are passionate about. Right, figure out how to do it and just do it, man. You know what I mean? And we have the resources and we have these and whatever you need from us, from Bronx Native, we got you. You know what I mean? So it's just instilling the motivation and the confidence in these kids, and the mindset that they are kings and queens. Right? They come from this beautiful place, beautiful culture, beautiful history, and they should be embracing that. And they should be empowered by it. And they should go on to the world and have an impact and show the world what they're about, my man.
And what's even more beautiful is that they're seeing someone similar to them coming from the same place doing it.
That's a fact. Yes, and that's highly important,
that's
my man.
Key.
Yeah. That is key for because again, growing up, all white teachers. I was like, oh, okay, and you're like, okay, yeah. But it's different when you see somebody that looks like you, that talks like you,
that you can relate.
You know what I mean? You can relate. You be like, damn, you look up to that. So it's a lot of different layers and stuff like that. But that's one of the main things that we try to instill and tell the kids, right?
Ese tigre bacano.
Ese Amaurys.
Él ni tenía un suit. Él vino así.
Yeah, tú sabes, I go with the tea. They be like, yo, what's good? I want to get the drip. I'm be like, yo, y'all want Yeezys? Like, yeah. You want the grills? Yeah. You guys want money? Yeah. Get to work. All right?
Just do it.
Just do it. Nike. But then also for the artists, right? What happened with all the music and the art, we were doing all of these events and we were doing a lot of things that correlated with music and recording artists and all this stuff. And we're like, yo, we do a lot of stuff music related, right? And as we should, because the Bronx, birthplace of culture, literally. So many things that came out of it. And then we said we need to create Bronx Native to be a platform to help these artists, right? So right now we have Bronx Native Records. We're doing a mixtape, a compilation album.
Wow, that's so dope.
That's all local artists. We host, like I said, an open mic every 2 weeks at the main shop. We have ciphers, hip hop artists, R&B. Come by, and then in the market we host a poetry night once a month. So all the spoken word artists, all the poets in the Bronx, go there, do their thing.
Do they email you or how?
Just come. Come.
Oh wow,
that's so
dope.
Our friends at Pink Rain, they organize. They've done the poetry.
Yes,
you know them.
I know them. Yeah. I know. You guys know Bronx Bacon?
Bronx Bacon?
Yeah, that's his IG name.
No,
not. But he was part of that
Rain.
organization. Yeah,
Nice.
And I remember some of the things that they were doing. Yeah,
that's dope, man.
Nice.
You see that? I love this, man.
That's what it is.
Amaurys, how you feeling?
Incredible.
You feeling the vibe?
Of course, I always feel the vibes, Las vibras están activadas.
I love it. Muchacho. When was the last time you went to DR?
A minute ago, Brody. Let me see. What am I? I just turned 27.
Young.
I'm a young boy out here in these streets, you heard? What's good? All right. It was a couple years, 5-6 years, I think, already. Yeah.
What do you miss from going out there? Your family or
from DR?
Yeah.
So most of my family is actually here already.
Good, yeah.
But I like you know when you go somewhere and you're like, yo, this is home. Like, this is where my people
feel the
are.
connection?
Like, you know, so I feel that. Even sometimes when I go to Washington Heights and I just be there like,
Same shit.
This is my, same shit. It's really the same thing. So you get that feeling, right? And just like, it's good to experience other things because you were used to something either in the Bronx or just in the city in general. We're used to a certain type of living. Then when you go over there and you see all the different, and you're like, oh shit, this is a thing. You know? So, it's lit. Yeah.
Do you see Bronx Native, the brand, like a physical store outside of the Bronx or like in another state?
Definitely.
Example?
I just came from LA, Cali, West Side for the first time.
I can see a Bronx Native in LA.
Brody.
That'll be fire.
I am in love, bruh, with LA and Cali. I am planning another trip over there. I'm going to be doing a pop-up over there soon. I know some artists that are over there and just some connects that I already made. Wow. I was over there for a convention called Hispanicize, for like Hispanic influencers and just people in the Hispanic community that are making it happen.
Nice.
And bro, the vibes over there is fire. And when you come with that New York
you stand out.
vibra, swag, con esa vibra, mira, una vibra. And I'm like, yo, can I get a unicorn? And they're like, oh, it's like you're a unicorn. They'd be like, where did this guy come? Where he from? Like, I don't know. He's not Mexican.
Where's that drip from?
What's up, bruh? So I went over there. No, because that's the thing. It's like the main Hispanics over there are Mexicans.
Mexican
you know, so then when they look at somebody that looks like us, they be like,
speak Spanish?
He speaks Spanish. Like, oh, he's not Mexican. So what is it? You know, I'm like, yo, I'm from the Bronx, bro. But it was fire, bro. And I'm planning another trip over there and planning other stuff, bro. We have a big fan base in Florida. There's a lot of Bronx natives over there. Atlanta, Georgia, too. A lot of Bronx natives over there.
Fire.
The Bronx, when you're talking about hip hop too. You're talking about all these, you're talking about old school New York vibes. You're talking about, you're talking about authenticity. You're talking about swag. You're talking about the grit. You're talking about tough, you're talking about all these different things. And we implement that in Bronx Native and we put that out there in a dope way, So
that's fire, man. Fire. You know what? And like, as part of the parte de Aqui Chillin, I just want to, congratulate you, my brother. Because lo que tú estás haciendo, and I'm going to keep it in Spanglish right now because I'm sure Bronx Native represents that. It's big, bro. Like, there's a lot of kids looking at you doing the things you're doing, and they're saying that could be me one day.
Yes.
Oye, porque what he's doing isn't, you're not just selling T-shirts or you're just not selling coquitos in the corner, right? You're
Coco Cherry Mango,
and I'm referencing those are Bronx things that we grew up seeing. You're selling a brand, but at the same time, you're impacting the community.
That's a fact.
That's a shit. Yes.
See or no?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So we encourage you, and we want to see you keep doing that
Thank you,
stuff,
bud.
man.
Thank you.
And we would love, once you do blow up even bigger and your shit gets popping, we want you back, bro.
Of course, bro. Anytime you need, bro. Again, thank you so much for having me, man. This has been a true pleasure, bro.
Thank you for pulling up.
Good convos, good vibes, and I appreciate what you guys are doing here.
Thank you.
And always, Aqui Chillin.
Siempre.
Y mi hermano, nosotros siempre nos gusta cerrar cada episodio asking the guests to share a message with the youth, like the younger kids, man. If you could tell yourself something when you were younger, what would you tell yourself?
You the shit.
Yeah, I like that.
No. I mean, like, and I touched on it before, right? Really finding what you love, right? And I said this once at a graduation. I said, sprinkle what makes you in whatever you do. Sprinkle your culture, sprinkle your history, sprinkle yourself in whatever you do. Or you want to be, even if it's like a regular 9 to 5, sprinkle who you are, bro.
Be you.
Oh,
that's fire.
I'm out of here.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night. The vibes. Damn. That was crazy.
That was crazy.
I feel like this is a connection here.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to lie.
Move this forward.
No, but that's what it's all about.
That's that wine.
It's
vino.
That's that Pinot Grigio.
Yo, hoy es sábado. I don't know. Yeah, it's lit.
But you're right, man.
But and just be true to yourself, be true to your people, and with hard work and wait, real quick. Somebody told me the secret of life one day, right?
Oh, you're about to say it right
Okay.
now?
This is true. So listen, guys. Everyone, listen.
Pay attention.
Secret of life, right? So I was like, yo, somebody was like, yo, you want to know the secret of life?
It's not Hakuna Matata?
No, that's not it. Sorry, bud. Sorry.
Okay.
Everything matters. Everything. He said, simple. He said, you get what you put in, right? And I was like, damn, like, that's it. But then I kept thinking about, like, you get what you put in. And that's what it is, bro. The more hours you put into something, the more work you put into something, the more heart, the more passion, the more anything you put into something, the more you're going to get in return, right? So for anyone doing a side hustle, doing this, wants to do that, put it all in there. Put the hours, put the tears, the sweat, the blood, everything. And you're going to get that in return, my man. And I am a testament of that. And I hope success and love to everyone out here, my man.
You know what?
From Brooklyn and the Bronx.
And the Bronx.
And all the other boroughs.
And all the other boroughs.
ladies,
In between.
ladies and gentlemen, Aqui Chillin with Bronx native
Thank
Amaurys.
you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Episode
much.
35.
Word, 35,
Got
35.
That's how old you are now, Carlos?
Muchacho, nah.
Happy
Yo.
birthday again,
Oh,
Carlos.
word.
Happy
It was
birthday, bud. When was your birthday?
November 7th.
October 10, bud. Let's
Oh,
get it.
nice.
Let's get
Hey,
it.
That's what's
10,
up,
10,
man.
10,
Again, my
Happy
brother,
birthdays.
thank you for joining
Much
us.
love.
Birthdays.
Thank you, bro.
Aqui Chillin family
Aqui
official.
Chillin.
Let's get it.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yo, real quick, can I get a yeah?